Okay, we're going to wait for a few people to come on in. Before we get started talking about what we want to talk about today, I know some of you are expecting JFK and aliens. I'll talk about those, maybe briefly. Main topics I want to cover are Jordan Peterson and his wife perhaps becoming Catholic. That's obviously pretty cool. I think that would be a very big thing, especially if he became a true Catholic, of course. Rumors of him going and attending the Latin Mass, I should say. I don't think the traditional Latin Mass. Several other stars becoming Catholics. Seems like there's a lot of things that people who are, I don't know, who show sense in some ways through, let's say, the pandemic. I think you see that they really start searching for truth because they realize everything they're being told is a lie. And when you really search for truth, well, what do you find? You find the Catholic Church, because of course that is truth. I've got two people watching. We're going to get started here. I don't actually know what's the proper amount of time to really start a live stream rather than just be awkward for several minutes. Thanks to the people watching already. I mean, pretty much like today, as I say I think the YouTube, hopefully it shows up what I typed into the restream here, that it's kind of a practice pancake, trying to see if people are interested in live streaming. And of course, I would bring on guests. It would be probably once a week, talking about what's in the news, kind of what Matt and I do, but we'll make sure we have fresh topics Friday, different than what we talk about on Monday with Matt. Hey, maybe Matt will come on a live show. That would be awesome. Good point. I'm commenting, but that must be, that's Dad in the comment section. Yeah, that's a good point, Dad. I think 30-second lead in sounds about right. Mom's watching. Hey, Mom and Dad are on. Hey, what more do I need? I've got my full team here tonight. No, again, yeah, we just kind of want to. Part of what we've loved about these live streams in the past, we've done live streams with Mario Dirksen, Louis Verrecchio, a couple others, and they've really been a blast. And obviously part of it because of the guests I've had and the things we've talked about, but part of it is because the comment section has just been awesome. And it's really been kind of I think my dad said it's kind of like you're getting together almost for a party in the comment section, which is pretty cool. I think that's something that I love, even just to see so many of the regulars, how so many regulars are commenting and on our videos, even if it's just a thumbs up or saying how much they like it. And there are people who've been commenting for years now, and that's awesome. I really love that. I appreciate you guys so much, and of course, new people too. As I see Ethan bring on Jordan Peterson, that would be awesome. I gotta try that. That is, why not? Hey, why not? I'll reach out. Say, hey, Dr. Peterson, I want to talk about the Catholic faith. Want to come on? That would be pretty cool. You never know. You never know. I think he's got slightly bigger fish to fry, or maybe he's the big fish that I don't know, other people are frying. But no, it's Jordan Peterson would be pretty cool. Michelle Chicky wants to bring on the aliens. Well, I did promise that I would talk about aliens and JFK. So first I got to tell you all real quick, who killed JFK? Well, it was the CIA, of course, and in union with the deep state who wanted war in Vietnam, among other things. And so, yeah, kaboom, they had him killed. Aliens, no, of course they don't exist. The UFOs are almost undoubtedly some sort of government project or craft, that experimental craft. Maybe they're even tiny. Has anyone ever considered that? What if the UFOs are actually, they're just like drones? They're just like a foot, like this big. And if you put up enough in the air, why not? I can see that. Anyway, yeah, I don't think aliens exist. I think that the government is going to try to push that they exist and maybe have an invasion and make, all this craziness so that we have to give them the power, kind of an Emperor Palpatine type thing. I can just imagine, Biden standing there with the hood draped over his head, arms outraised. More power. Yeah. The true happiness, that was my final thing. Well, I suppose forgetting yourself and only living for God and your neighbor, there's happiness. I think that's what the saints would say. And really, they're the ones who only ever truly found happiness, and it was when they gave up everything, which is tough. But there you go. There's the answer. But no, I think what I really wanted to start with today was talking about Jordan Peterson and his wife. I'll pull up this article real quickly. The wife of Jordan Peterson is set to become a Catholic, and she actually converted while she had an illness a few years back. She had cancer, had to have several surgeries, lost over 80 pounds. Her hair began to fall out. And a friend of hers came to visit. Yeah, okay, she brought something from the Holy Father. Well, not so Holy Father, Francis Bergoglio. But I think it's pretty interesting that they both saw the rosary and this image of Our Lady. And they prayed the rosary together every morning. Now, it's not very well written in this article whether they means her friend, you. It's a little confusing to those who aren't watching. You is her friend. That's the name of the person. She was probably on first base too. And they prayed the rosary together. Maybe Jordan Peterson is also part of they. I don't honestly know. But I do know that Jordan Peterson has been seen at a Catholic mass. A Latin mass. I guess I'm using the term mass a little lightly, but still, I mean, you got to start somewhere, right? No, I think Novus Ordo, right? So when I say mass, sorry, yeah, my mistake. It's not actually a mass, but it is the Latin attempt at a mass with almost surely invalid sacraments. But again, hey, you got to start somewhere. You don't expect Jordan Peterson to be an atheist and then a state of a contest overnight. And that would be pretty amazing. I don't think there's too many of us out there who have done that. I've had a few people who tell me that they've kind of done that straight leap from nothing to Sede, but that's pretty rare. You almost always have to take the step of Novus Ordo, SSPX, and then finally understanding that the truth truly lies outside of what most people know to be the Catholic Church. But it's pretty amazing. I mean, if you really think about it, I mean, is there a more, and I'd really tell me in the comment section what you guys think. I mean, is there a more, I don't know, influential person especially amongst young men today than Jordan Peterson? I mean, Jordan Peterson, really, let's just say hypothetically, he becomes a true traditional Catholic. Can you imagine the effect that would have if he starts talking about that, if he starts attending the Latin Mass? Now, someone mentioned, I think maybe my mom, we were talking about this, and she said, if he does become a traditional Catholic, he's probably just going to leave the public eye. He's probably just going to, leave the fame. And good on him if he does. I mean, better for his soul, undoubtedly. But boy, what could he bring to the table if he truly understood and became a Catholic? And it's an amazing thing. I mean, I've watched him for years. I'm sure many of you watching this have as well. And in my favorite videos of his are before he became famous. Or he was slightly famous in Canada. This was, I think, after he made the stand against the whole terminology of the transgender stuff. And he was just doing lectures. He was, as a college professor, he was doing lectures up in Canada. And they're really good. I know they're really fantastic lectures. And he's got other interviews as he started to get bigger and bigger that are really good. I thought in the last few years, I thought he kind of lost his way a little bit. I think he tried to find a niche. And yeah, he tried to become something that I noticed when he started to have his own podcast and he was inviting people on, that he started to do this whole, anyone has a platform to come on, we want to have true free speech and everyone can have their opinion. And it's like, come on, that's ridiculous. People with dumb opinions and dumb ideas definitely shouldn't have a platform. And that's something that I was kind of surprised that he did. Didn't last very long. I don't even know if is he still with the Daily Wire? I honestly don't know. That didn't seem to last. I didn't see him much in the news, but then I'm also off Twitter, so possible I'm just missing that. Dad asks, biggest conversion: Jordan Peterson, Father Altman, or Taylor Marshall? Ooh, I'd say Peterson, because Peterson brings a whole different group of people to the table. While I think Altman and Marshall are already part of the semi-trad, groups. They're already a big step there, though maybe even a bigger step out, because, well, we all know that whole story. It's a lot harder kind of to make that last step once you're, I guess, part of the SSPX or whatever other group. Maybe that's even harder than it is for Jordan Peterson, who's coming from a place of actual just logic rather than emotion. He can really sit down and say, okay, what is the truth? What is the actual true religion? And it seems like he's famous for having said that it is the most sane thing on earth, the Catholic faith. And that's a beautiful thing. And I think that's something that, you would definitely hear, echoed from the words of St. Thomas Aquinas and the likes, that it is logical. It is truly, you can really conclude by logic that God exists and that the Catholic Church must be his religion. And so again, if that seems like something that I'm a little surprised Jordan Peterson took so long to get there. Maybe it's because he was so involved in the world and, in the educational system, etc. It took him a while. Maybe it took him, maybe it took him his wife's illness and her conversion. It shows you how God works, and how Our Lady works through the Rosary. I mean, how incredible is that? I mean, that's an amazing aspect of our faith, and it just shows you her friend, came and prayed the Rosary with her, and now maybe she'll convert just because of that, because she brought to her this comfort of prayer, and maybe from that, not only Mrs. Peterson will convert, but maybe her husband. And then if he does, boy, watch out, world. Watch out, devil. Because, I mean, that'd be a big one. And yeah, of course, so would Taylor Marshall and Father Altman, who are very, very close. I mean, Father Altman is officially a Sede contest right now. Has plenty of other issues, obviously. I mean, I'm sure with his ordination, etc. But he says that Bergoglio is not the Pope. And that's yeah, I think it's a neat thing to pray for. I mean, definitely pray for Jordan Peterson, because I think you see as the world goes on, so much of it goes crazier and crazier. But it really feels to me like you're just a few blocks from, or stepping stones, however you want to say it, from really shifting momentum to the good. Really like actually having a change. And maybe that's Taylor Marshall. I saw another one. What's this guy's name? An actor, Rob Schneider, who I only honestly know him because he's in movies that I wouldn't recommend anyone watch. Was in movies. I think he's another guy who's had a conversion of his own in terms of becoming more moral. And I know he was a guy who's big, absolutely against all the lockdowns and all this stuff, and you could see that he was logically concluding a lot. He was coming to conclusions of what's true and what's a lie, et cetera, et cetera. And now he just came out, I think last week, ironically, saying that he's converting to Catholicism. Pretty cool. And again, yeah, I'm sure it's a Novus Ordo, but keep praying on him too. I mean, I think it's an unfair thing to be like, ugh, well, that's not good. Oh, come on, of course that's good. We can't set too high expectations. That is what we can wish for, is that they have to start somewhere, and keep praying that they keep taking the proper steps, of course. Now, Jordan Peterson is not Catholic as far as I know. His wife is converting to Catholicism, and he has been seen at a Latin Novus Ordo Mass. So definitely steps in the right direction, and someone that, again, we should definitely pray for and hope that he figures it out, because, well, we need it. We need the help. And it's something that I have absolutely no segue to my next segment. Sorry, guys. I also want to talk a bit about Halloween, because that was a big topic, obviously, over the last week, especially on Catholic Facebook. I'm not on Twitter anymore. I probably was even crazy. Everything's always crazier on Twitter. or X, whatever you want to call it. But it's a kind of a debate of, how do you celebrate Halloween, etc. And I'll say first of all, I should say this at the start of the show. I am not an expert on anything. I'm not a moral theologian. I am just a guy. So my opinion is literally just my opinion. So yeah, that's, talk to a priest about it if you actually have a question. But my opinion is, first of all, my feelings on Halloween are, I don't feel the need for my children to dress up and go trick-or-treating. I think it can be dangerous. I think it's kind of a strange circumstance that I was talking to Father McKenna, and he said, I had to give Father McKenna credit about this, because he was saying, he's like, yeah, it's pretty crazy that the whole year, their entire youth and childhood, you're telling them, hey, don't talk to strangers, and especially never accept candy from them. Oh, except for this one day of the year where you literally walk around accepting candy from strangers. I mean, it's pretty bizarre. So that's, again, just my feelings on it. I wouldn't do it. I think it's kind of strange. If you do it, definitely do it with, parental supervision and make sure everything's safe, etc. But, I also think that it gets a little bit silly where people are making it out to be like, you can't do anything. You got to like stay at home and kneel in front of the crucifix and pray the entire day, because it is a satanic holiday, and it's, the druids are just waiting and begging for you to do anything fun on that day. It's just, everything is so hyperbolic, and I know a part of that is because we're on social media and everything just is naturally hyperbolic, but I think we need to calm things down a little bit and just put things into perspective and not freaky out about things. I think it's good to, on social media or wherever, to say, hey, yeah, here is a better option. Let's dress up as saints on All Saints Day and have a party for the kids then, and then they can have candy or cake or whatever so that they're happy and play with their friends and dress up as, St. Dominic and St. Sebastian, etc. And that's what we did. I think that's what many, many Catholics do. Yes, that is better, and that is what we should be absolutely promoting and, trying to get people to do. I also think, again, we've got to stop the whole, overreacting about things. That, that's from the devil. Anton LaVey says that, it's the day where the demons come out. And it's just like, well, first of all, who listens to Anton LaVey? I mean, since when do we take his opinion on anything? Yeah, sure, he was a Satanist. He was also a great marketer. He was a showman, really. And so it's like, yeah, sure, he said this kind of stuff, and I think that's true. There's some of it, some things from Halloween can be bad. And of course, I think that there are people who do evil Wiccan type things on that day, but it doesn't mean that day comes from Wiccans. I think it was, All Hallows Eve was or had Catholic roots and in Catholic background and Catholic traditions. Again, yes, some people took bad parts of it and made it bad. Look at Christmas, for goodness sake. I mean, how much is Christmas much better? I'm not saying it's Wiccan, but I mean, talk about commercialized, talk about, not actually having any part of what Christmas should be about, of course, about Christ and about, what Christ sacrificed to come here to earth, and giving gifts and whatnot is because, anyway, I'm not going to go down the whole Christmas path, but I think, again, we can freak out a little bit too much about these things. And then when we do that, it's fine if you do it on your own. If you're just like, hey, I don't want to have anything to do with Halloween because it could be a cult. Okay. Yeah. I think that is not too crazy. And hey, better safe than sorry. Awesome. Great. I agree. I would definitely do something on All Saints Day. I would do something on Halloween. Boom. Done. But again, if you start freaking out about it, then you also start really judging people. And I know sometimes it's okay to judge. I know it's a whole societal thing. It's like, oh, don't judge anybody. Well, no, you can judge something if it's good or bad. But I think this is an example where it's not really good or bad. It's kind of vague. It's kind of, can be good, can be bad. How are you handling it? Are your kids dressing as demons? Yeah, that's bad. That should pretty much go without saying. Are they dressing as aliens? Well, aliens might be demons if you want to go down that road. Possible. But just less bad. Are they dressing as little angels and going and getting candy? Okay. doesn't sound bad. I mean, Spider-Man, yeah, don't dress immodestly, don't dress immorally, don't dress as Satan, and then go and trick or treat. I mean, I just don't, the total, immorality of it, or I can't believe anyone would do this. I just think, again, we got to calm down a little bit. It's something that's really opened my eyes talking with, so many times now with Father McKenna, talking about philosophy and our other topics, that I just really realize that these things are really hard. I mean, there's a reason why priests study moral theology for years and then are always learning, always, because morality is really tough. Actually, it's. I mean, of course, there are objective truths and goods and bads, of course, and that goes without saying. But not everything is. Just because it's your opinion that it's bad doesn't mean it actually is bad. And I think that's something we need to chill a little bit, and and I don't know, stop slinging mud so easily. But anyway, yeah, I mean, that's honestly about all I had to say. I mean, I would love to hear from you guys, whoever's watching. Let me know, is this something, would you be interested in a live format? And now, sometimes it would be by myself if I can't get a guest. I would love to get Matt on here. He probably wouldn't come on with video because, privacy issues, but I think he might do it. What do you think, Matt? Matt, you going to come on? Maybe Father McKenna, Mario Dirksen, perhaps. Others that, maybe we're going to talk about Novus Ordo related stuff, or we're going to talk about, things like aliens and Halloween or politics or whatever. And I mean, you guys can give us suggestions. Maybe one of you wants to call in and join the show. I don't know. What do you guys think? There's not been a ton of action in the comment section. I honestly didn't even share this on social media because I didn't have my phone. So this is typical Kevin preparedness. But it's okay. I mean, again, this is kind of a practice pancake. I'm actually honestly a little bit feverish. I'm getting a little sick. That's so if I seem a little loopy, more loopy than normal. No, I have not been drinking Bavarian beer, though it might do me good. They actually, not kidding, that is one of the cures that they say for a cold in Bavaria is to warm up beer. So you heat up a beer and drink it hot. I haven't done it yet. Maybe this time. Maybe if I actually really continue to be sick, I'm gonna try that. I got enough stuff that my wife pumps into me that if that doesn't cure me, I don't know what will. But anyway, yeah. See what was I talking about being loopy? Anyway, no, everyone. It looks like the comment section is not going to be super busy. That's all right. Leave a comment after the show. Email me, Kevin89Davis@gmail.com. Let me know what you think. Do you like the format? Again, the topic's going to really vary. I mean, sometimes it's just going to be me rambling. Maybe me talking about my favorite Bavarian beers. I mean, if anyone wants to know, I could tell you. Anyone wants to, ask a question, give me suggestions for podcast ideas. Always love those. We got some really interesting ones coming up. Got one planned in the next few weeks to talk about divine providence with two priests. It's going to be great. More philosophy coming. Got a series of shows coming up with a priest and other guests talking about, politics, kind of why we believe the things we believe as quote unquote conservatives. Why? I shouldn't say that. It's actually not a black and white question. It's not even a why. It is we want to talk about the things that we think we believe. Things like minimum wage being bad, or tree huggers always being wrong about saving the planet. Is there actual, climate change? And I think actually having an actual conversation about it, like just openly, not like just like, I don't like paper straws because that's what my conservative pundit guy said. I think, okay, let's talk about paper straws. I think that's pretty interesting. I mean, maybe you guys don't find it so, but to me, it's interesting. Jamie, live questions for priests. That's a good idea. I think we got to get some brave priests. And if there's any priest brave enough, it would be Father McKenna. Father McKenna he is the bravest. I think just like He has no fear. I love it. No, it's a good question. It's a good point. I think that would be something that I think that would be a nice format. Maybe have a couple priests come on so that they could, help each other out a little bit. Because I think that, it could be a little stressful if it's one priest and someone's asking him really tough moral questions. Because again, morality it's really hard to generalize so many things. It's really hard to just be like, here's a blanket statement about this. Oftentimes it is personalized, and we don't want to talk about someone's personal issues on a podcast. So I think it could be good. We'd have to figure out how to work that out. But it's a nice idea, absolutely. And that's what I try to do when I do the basics of the faith. I try to ask people on social media if they have any questions for the priests, because then it can be kind of, it's not on the spur of the moment, and I can kind of, work out which ones are the best ones or which ones are appropriate for the priest to answer. I'll continue to do that. I forgot that one for, as Lois says, the basics of the faith with Father Applehans. I forgot to ask that on social media, but I try to remember that in the future. We're going to put up a Twitter X account here soon, where we'll also be live streaming and putting up small videos, highlights, and polls and stuff, as well as on Facebook. You can follow me on Facebook, Kevin Davis. There's a lot of Kevin Davises, but maybe you'll find me. But let's see. Yeah, the basics of the faith, I think, are some of the best videos. I think my mom's videos are the best ones on the channel. Mom, you're awesome. And then I think that the basics of the faith are just awesome. They're so good. They're really exactly what we need. Really speaking for myself, it's amazing. I learned so much. It's so good to learn these things. And the one about the sacrament of penance was just great with Father Benedict, and we've done humility and a few others. But we are absolutely planning on more of those in the future. So we will definitely do them, and we'll continue to ask questions. I'll try to remember next time on Facebook and then Twitter. And again, if you have a question, if you hear we're going to do a topic that you're interested in, you don't want to publish the question publicly, go ahead and email me at kevin89davis@gmail.com. Ethan says, what are your thoughts on getting overworked in the workplace? I currently work 60 plus hours a week, 6 days a week. Holy mackerel, Ethan, and feel underpaid. Spiritually, I feel obligated to endure the suffering. Oh, man. Well, it's actually a good point. I was just talking to Father McKenna about that sort of thing. I mean, not exactly what we're talking about, usury and how again, that's different. I understand that, but I think that's a pretty interesting topic. Again, I mean, what are the rights that an employer has, and what rights that's not the correct word. What responsibilities does an employer have, and an employee have as well? And that's I mean, obviously, purely my opinion. I'm not a priest or a theologian, moral, anything. I would say, if you have to support a family, then you do whatever you have to do to support the family. If that job seems unfair, I personally would go to them and say, hey, look, this ain't going to cut it. I need to have a life too. Because you do. That's something that's really important. That's something that Germany has better than the U.S. I have 6 weeks of vacation. They have a better work-life balance. I don't know why. It's just a cultural thing that Americans are more willing to just work their life away and save for their retirement. Again, purely my opinion. I think that's commendable. I think hard work can't really ever go wrong. But I also think you also have to live your life, especially if you have a family. You got to support your family, but you also have to live with them. You also have to be there for them and experience their young lives, because they're young once and then it's gone. I can tell you that now. I got 2 little ones, and you can already see how fast they grow, and it's just going to be gone. So of course I want to have time at home, and I do. My work-life balance is pretty awesome. Am I rich? Absolutely not. Contrary to what people think. I mean, I'm getting pretty rich from this podcast. I'm thinking about buying a boat pretty soon. A little one for my son in the bathtub. But no, I mean, it's a good question. It's a good one for a priest. I think, to me, I'd say make sure you also live as well. It's not all about work if you can. Fran, I was about to load up with questions about aliens and duct tape. But alas, my day job beckons. Aliens and duct tape. I'm very curious to hear your questions. But maybe next time. I guarantee you, if Father McKenna comes on the show, that would be a good one for him. I think he would have a very interesting answer about aliens and or duct tape. I'd be very curious to hear his response for that. We really that would be, what a kind of a show would that be if I had on Father McKenna and other priests and just pepper them with just totally random questions. Oh, just make their feet burn a little bit. That'd be pretty cool. And then we'd have to pay them or something, or I don't know. I couldn't just do that for free. I'd have to. I don't know. We'd all have to pray a rosary for them after that show, I think. But something to think about. Definitely something to think about. No, I think it's yeah. Anyway, my brain is, I don't know, not sure where to go with things. But I appreciate you all being here for this. The 18-20 of you watching right now. Yeah, let me know. Again, as always, anything you want us to talk about. I plan on doing this Friday because I did the poll and the majority said, what was it? Friday at 10 a.m. No, wait, what was it? Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern time. But it wasn't a vast majority. It was kind of like, it was 50%, but it was like, okay, that was enough. Because, that would be me getting up at 4 a.m. And people on the East Coast, if I'm having on, say Mario or whoever, anyone on the East Coast, then that's just, that's going to be too late for them as well. So I actually think that's probably not the best time. I thought if it's like 90% wanted that, then okay, let's try it. But I actually think this time is probably the best. I know you're going to lose it with a lot of people who are at work where they can't, Fran, who can't just watch and, and comment on videos while they're working. But what can you do? I mean, it's the issue with the time difference here is that I can't really do a 7 p.m. show because that is 1 or 2 a.m. for me. So that's, that's just what it is. Ethan Brown asking about the newsletter. I think that must be from the ladies. I honestly have absolutely no idea. That is all on the ladies. So ladies, if you're watching this, maybe they'll comment on that in the next show. I understand how these things go. You have these big projects planned and great ideas and great intentions, and then life kind of happens, and it's like, oh boy, yeah, this is going to be a lot harder than I thought. Yeah, so I don't know, but I can imagine it just being too overwhelming for them. They're ladies with families and other things to do. Maybe they're, I don't know, maybe they missed your email address. I honestly don't know. So the ladies will have to answer that question. Maybe they can do that. I think they tend to watch my videos, so maybe they'll answer that question in their next show. Ethan again, enjoy the video concept. That's cool. No, I appreciate that. I think it'll be really fun. I think once we get going with it and bringing on guests like Matt, I think it'd be awesome to have him on. You guys can interact with him as well. Always enjoy his opinions. We're going to talk a bit about baseball on Sunday. I think I haven't asked him yet, but I know. Come on, if anyone watches our show, we both love sports and baseball, especially. And the Texas Rangers won. Pretty interesting twist about the Texas Rangers. We'll talk about that on the Monday show, and I don't know, something else as well. We'll have to see. But anyway, yeah, we got a lot coming. We got several other videos planned. And we got one. I don't even know. Yeah, I'll save it. I won't describe all the videos we have coming this week, but a couple good interviews coming, and always stuff in the works. It really is something that we always are trying to find the next thing, I suppose. What is the best type of material to produce for our viewers, because we continue to grow. I mean, slowly but surely, which is awesome. And we want to, provide good content for everybody. And so things like covering the encyclicals, I think it's a great idea. It's hard because it really means you obviously have to have on a priest. The priest has to have time to make notes and to really study the encyclicals, and then have time to come on the show to talk about it. We have talked about this on several occasions. It's just a very difficult thing to do because the priests are just so busy. But it's a great idea. I'm totally with you. The encyclicals are amazing. Everyone I've read is just like, wow, this is what it was like having a pope, and like a true pope, like a pope who actually led the Catholic world and the world in general, really, in terms of faith and morals. I mean, it's just incredible, and really something that, boy, makes you really miss it, right? It's like, okay, we gotta get back to this, right? When's our time to have a pope? Boy, talk about something else we got to never forget. Pray that we get a true pope. Pray. Sharon, Jamie, I want to mention Jamie. True Restoration Radio has covered a lot of important encyclicals. That I think is absolutely true. They're behind a paywall, but yeah, otherwise, yes, that is absolutely true. They have spent a lot of time and years, and priests have covered that. Very good stuff. A lot of good stuff at True Restoration. 100%. Sharon says, how do people deal with being far from the city and Mass? That's my situation now. It breaks my heart. Would you pray outside of Mass at a parish that happens to have a gorgeous church and reverent Novus Ordo? I would certainly not. Again, I'm not the one to ask. Well, we should save these questions for a priest. But I mean, I'd say definitely don't go to a Novus Ordo Mass ever, because it's not the true Mass, and it's really, most of them are mockeries. And I think it's just because there's not the true sacraments, it's not the true Mass. Yeah, I think you're just it's not a good idea, I would say, and that's the least I would say. I think you go farther into it that it's a false religion, a new religion, and you are then participating in a false religion. That's a tough line, and I don't really want to make a judgment on that, but it's one that definitely ask a priest. And Sharon, absolutely, I would highly recommend if you go to a chapel, if you have one you occasionally go to, or have a priest you can contact to ask him that question, because I think that's one that they could really help you out better. They deal with people like that all the time, because they're unfortunately, they're unfortunate. Yeah, if you're just going to pray in the church, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's fine. I mean, I don't think everyone agrees with me, but I think if you pray a rosary in a beautiful chapel in front of a beautiful image, and it helps you to reflect on your prayers and on God, then I think that is, I think that's good. You're not going to get the same graces, of course, that you get in a church with the Blessed Sacrament. I mean, that's for sure. But I mean, as you say, if you're 3, 4, 5 hours away from a Mass, you just have to do the best you can. I mean, that's just how it is. Try to get to Masses as often as you can, and pray. And I think again, I wouldn't go to these churches when there is a Novus Ordo ceremony, but an empty church or other people praying or something, I think I do it. So I hope it's okay. Again, I'm not a priest, so we'll definitely save that one for a priest to answer better. But it's a good one. It's a good question. It's tough. It really is. I mean, I completely sympathize. I mean, I'm an hour away, but that's definitely doable. I've talked to people who are 2.5 hours away. I just talked to one recently that was 2 hours away, and they drive almost every week. 2 hours one way. That's incredible. It's an incredible sacrifice. And I mean, talk about the rewards you're going to be getting for that sacrifice. I mean, and really, your Sunday is obviously gone from having to drive that way. But that's unfortunately the times we live in, and sacrifice, I suppose, you have to make. But no, again, I would definitely not attend any of the ceremonies. I think that's really important, because that's not going to lead you anywhere good. And hey, talk to a priest, because you would be amazed at how willing these priests are to travel for a few people. You have to help them out, of course, but the priests are superheroes. I mean, just straight up. I mean, they're incredible. I mean, they need someone. We used to joke that we had a priest when I was in school, that he needed like the Indiana Jones soundtrack, following him everywhere, because it was just like the things he did were just simply remarkable. I mean, not human, really, what he was able to do. But anyway, boy, it's almost 40 minutes. That was a lot longer than I expected. I think I better go help clean up the house since the kids are in bed. Parents know what I'm talking about. Appreciate all for being here. It's been fun. Looking forward to it in the future. Again, having some guests on. Hey, that's another thing. Let me know what guests you want me to have. Doesn't mean I'll get them, but if there's someone you want to come on the show, let me know. And, especially if you have a contact, definitely, yeah, shoot me an email and let me know. I mean, I can't have on people that don't have that I don't know, or that I don't have a high recommendation from a priest or something, because I've already had a couple bad experiences with that. But I think that we can make this pretty fun, and I think that your comments are going to make it that much more enjoyable, because I think it makes it much more lively, right? It makes it much more truly interactive, and I think that for me it's fun, because it's really like, hey, I'm getting to talk to you guys, and I think that, of course, it would be a lot better when I can have on a priest who can better answer these moral questions, because I'm certainly not qualified for that. So let me work on it. Let me see what I can do. Yeah, we'll plan on next Friday at the same time, probably, because I think it's really weird, because the daylight savings time changes here first. I think we have 2 weeks of daylight savings before you guys do. So I think maybe next week will be at 3:00 again. But I'll make an announcement and or on a post or whatever. And then yeah, hope to see you all there. And thanks for the prayers for my health. I feel fairly good, except for just kind of feverish. So we'll see how that goes. Again, I better go warm up a beer. So I'll head to it. God bless you all. Until next time.